A list of U.S. special education websites by state. Chapter 1. U.S. special education websites by state. Alabama Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. alsta.edu, Department of Education. Disability-related information docs.alsta.edu/documents/65/1-AAC% signed 20290-8-9% signed 20% signed 205-19-2011.pdf. Department of Education, Office of Learning. alsta.edu/home/section/sectioninfo.aspx $section ID =65. Support. alsta.edu/home/section/sectioninfo.aspx $section ID =65. Final report. autism.alabama.gov/documents/autism_task_force_final_report.pdf. Interagency Autism Coordinating Council W. autism.alabama.gov. Autism. alex.state.al.us/autismal. AL Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Alabama. AL Secondary Transition. transitionta.org. Alabama Parent Education Center. alabamaparentcenter.com. alabamaparentcenter.com/2012/resources/links.php. Alaska Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. AK Special Education Handbook. eed.state.ak.us/tls/sped/pdf/fi13% signed 20 handbook/ak% signed 20 sped% signed 20 handbook% signed 201302008.pdf. Department of Education and Early Development. eed.state.ak.us/tls/sped. Autism Resource Center. sesa.org/content/aarc-home. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Alaska. Stone Soup Group. stonezoupgroup.org/index.html. AK Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Alaska. Where to turn. dhss.alaska.gov/gcdse/pages/publications/where to turn/wttindex.aspx. Arizona Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Disability-related information. az.gov/special-education/deputy-associate-superintendent/documents/disability-related-information. Department of Education, Exceptional Student Services. az.gov/special-education. Parent Information Network Specialists. az.gov/special-education/deputy-associate-superintendent/parent-information-network. PINS Contact Info. az.gov/special-education/PINS. Report. asbcs.az.gov/user-files/0583_001.pdf. Empowerment Scholarship Accounts Program. az.gov/ESA. Lexi's Law. edchoice.org/school-choice/lexi-s-law-corporate-tax-credits.aspx. AZ Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Arizona. AZ Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Arizona. Raising Special Kids. raisingspecialkids.org. Special Education Resources. az.gov/special-education. Arkansas Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. AR Special Education Eligibility. arcsped.k12.ar.us/sections/rules-and-regulations.html. Department of Education Special Education PR. arcsped.k12.ar.us/default.html. Final report, submit. arclg.state.ar.us/bureau/research/publications/task%20 forces/legislative%20 task%20 force%20 on%20 autism/final%20 report%20 of%20 the%20 Arkansas%20 legislative%20 task%20 force%20 on %20 autism%20 as %20 created %20 by %20 act %20 1016% of %20 2007.pdf. AR Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Arkansas. Arkansas Disability Coalition. adcpti.org. Northwest Arkansas Community Parent Center. nwacprc.org. AR Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Arkansas. Parent Resources. archildfint.org/parent-resource-links.htm. Eligibility Categories. spestlawsregs.org/document.aspx?id=13. California Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Department of Education Special Education. cde.ca.gov/sp/se. Special Education Local Plan Areas. cde.ca.gov/sp/se/as/kselpa.asp. Regional Diagnostic Centers. dc-cde.ca.gov. California Superintendent of Public Instruction's Autism Advisory. cde.ca.gov/sp/se/as/saac.asp. Committee. cde.ca.gov/sp/se/as/saac.asp. CA Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/California. CA Secondary Transition. transition.org/transition-map/California. CA Parent Organizations. cde.ca.gov/sp/se/qa/caprnt.org.asp. Family Involvement and Partnerships. cde.ca.gov/sp/se/fp. CA Military Education Resources. cde.ca.gov/ls/pf/mc. Colorado Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Specific Disabilities. cde.state.co.us/cdsp/sd-main.asp. Department of Education Office of Special Education. cde.state.co.us/cdsp/index.asp. Final Report. codc.org/pdfs/cac_final.pdf. CO Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Colorado. Peak Parent Center. peakparent.org. Denver Metro Community Parent Resource Center. denvermetrocprc.org. CO Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Colorado. Family Resources. cde.state.co.us/index_parent-student.htm. Connecticut Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. PJ Settlement Synopsis. $id=cat id=article $cat id=45:id=346:pj-settlement-view=article=45:id=sign 4 5:LRE&id=sign 110. Department of Education, Bureau of Special Education. sde.gov/sde/cwp/view.asp?Q=320730. State Education Resource Center, SEER. ctsec.org/s. CT Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Connecticut. CPAC. cpacinc.org. AFCamp Harvard, New Haven CPRC. afcamp.org. CT Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Connecticut. CT Military Education Resources. sde.ct.gov/SDE/CWP/view.asp?Q=$26788$Q=$3345150. Delaware Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Department of Education Exceptional Children Group. doe.k12.de.us/info-suites/students_families/specialed/default.html. DA Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Delaware. Parent Information Center of Delaware. picofdel.org. DA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Delaware. Special Education Resources. doe.k12.de.us/info-suites/students_families/specialed/setters.html. Washington, D.C. Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. D.C. Special Education Policies. OSSC.DC.gov/sites/default/files/DC/20 sign 20-sign 20333.pdf. Office of the State Superintendent of Education Division of Specialized. OSSC.DC.gov/service/specialized-education. Education. OSSC.DC.gov/service/specialized-education. Opportunity Scholarship Program. edchoice.org/school-choice/program/opportunity-scholarship-program.aspx. Advocates for Justice and Education. aje-dc.org. DC Secondary Transition. transition-ta.org/transition-map/district-columbia. Family/community resources. OSSC.DC.gov/service/community-and-special-education-stakeholder-information. Florida Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. FL Eligibility. fldoe.org/ese/sa-home.asp. Department of Education Bureau of Exceptional Education and Student. fldoe.org/ese/sa-home.asp. Services. fldoe.org/ese/sa-home.asp. Diagnostic and Learning Resources System. fdlrs.org. Centers for Autism and Related. florida-card.org. Disabilities. florida-card.org. Autism Florida. autismflorida.com. McKay Scholarship Program. floridaschoolchoice.org/information/McKay. FL Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Florida. Central Florida Parent Center. cflparents.org. Parent Education Network Project. fndusa.org/program/pen-parent-education-network.aspx. Parent to Parent of Miami Inc. pdopmiami.org. Parents of the Panhandle Information Network. fndusa.org/programs-of-the-panhandle-information-network.aspx. FL Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Florida. BEAS Resource and Information Center. fldoe.org/ese/clearome.asp. FL Military Education Resources. fldoe.org/military. Georgia Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Categories. doe.k12.ga.us/ci_exceptional.aspx. Department of Education Special Education Services. doe.k12.ga.us/curriculum-assessment/special-education-services/pages/default.aspx. Supports. doe.k12.ga.us/curriculum-assessment/special-education-services/pages/default.aspx. GA Learning Resource System. glrs.org. GA Special Needs Scholarship Program. doe.k12.ga.us/external-affairs-policy/pages/special-needs-scholarship-program.aspx. Parent to Parent of Georgia Incorporated p2pga.org. GA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Georgia. Special Needs Resources. glrs.org. GA Military Education Resources. doe.k12.ga.us/external-affairs-policy/pages/military-families.aspx. Hawaii Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. High Eligibility Regulations. lily.k12.hi.us/public/admin-r1.nsf/8525053000160479D/996BFDCF49E72390257690079-56 Open document. HDE's Special Education Section. hawaiipublicschools.org/teaching and learning/specialized programs/special education/pages/home.aspx. High Special Education. spinhawaii.org/resources/doresources.html. Report. gen.doh.hawaii.gov/sites/leg-rpt/2009-1/act%sign 2021%sign 20leg%sign 20%sign 20-narrative%sign 20-asd%sign 20force.pdf. Learning Disabilities Association of Hawaii. ldahawaii.org/index.html. High Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Hawaii. Special Parent Information Network. spinhawaii.org. High Military Education Resources and militaryfamily.k12.hi.us. Military Families. doe.k12.hi.us/military. Idaho Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Criteria. sde.idaho.gov/sites/special_edu/docs/manual/chapter%sign 204%sign 20 eligibility.pdf. Department of Education Division of Special Education. sde.idaho.gov/sites/special_edu. ID Training Clearinghouse. idahodc.com. Idaho Parents Unlimited. epub.idaho.org. ID Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Idaho. Resource page. idahodc.com/resources.aspx. Illinois Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. State Board of Education Bureau of Special Education. isb.state.il.us/spec-ed. IL Autism Task Force. dhs.state.il.us/page.aspx?item =55590. IL Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Illinois. Family Mayor TTS is IL. fmptic.org. Family Resource Center on Disabilities. frcd.org. IL Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Illinois. Special Education Resources. isbe.state.il.us/spec-ed/html/resources.htm. IL Military Education Resources. isbe.net/learningsupports/html/military.htm. Indiana Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Special Education Eligibility. doe.in.gov/sites/defaults/files/individualized-learning/art7.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Ed. doe.in.gov/achievement/individualized-learning/special-education. In-Resource Network. doe.in.gov/achievement/individualized-learning/Indiana-resource-network. Choice Scholarships. doe.in.gov/improvement/school-choice/choice-scholarships. In Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Indiana. In *source. insource.org. In Secondary Transition Center. iidc.indiana.edu/index.php page ID =3283. In Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Indiana. Special Education Resources. doe.in.gov/achievement/individualized-learning/publications-and-resources. In Military Education Resources. doe.in.gov/student-services/student-assistance/supporting-military-children-and-families. Iowa Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. IA Special Ed Rules. educate-iowa.gov/index.php?doc-man=task=doc_download=item ID=15007. Department of Education Office of Special Education. educate-iowa.gov/index.php?content=task=view=task-id=574 IA Autism Council. educate-iowa.gov/index.php?content=task=view=id=1642 IA Insurance F. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Iowa. Access for Special Kids. askresource.org. IA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Iowa. Student/family resources. educate-iowa.gov/index.php?view-article=id=22223 item ID=2866. IA Military Education Resources. educate-iowa.gov/index.php?content=view=article=id=1250:military-education cat ID=187:veteran-education item ID=4059. Kansas Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Definitions. ksde.org/link-click.aspx?file ticket =zn9 mod f by g 0% sign 3d &tabit =2833 mid =9364. Department of Education Special Education. ksde.org/default.aspx?tabit =101. Special Education Cooperatives. cased.org/link-click.aspx, link equals directory/2006/sp%20ed%20coup.pdf and tabit equals 4. Final report in 2008. skyways.org/ksleg/KLRD/2008COMMREPTS/autism-cr.pdf. KS Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Kansas. Families Together Inc. familiastogether.org. KS Parent Information Resource Center. kperk.org/resources/for/parents. KS Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Kansas. Special Education Information and Resources. ksde.org/default.aspx?tabit=3139. Kentucky Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. KY Special Education Rules, S. education.ky.gov/specialed/excep/documents/Kentucky%20 administrative%20 regulations.pdf. Department of Education Division of Learning. education.ky.gov/specialed/excep/pages/default.aspx. Special Education Cooperatives. education.ky.gov/specialed/exep/kentucky-special-education-cooperative-network.aspx. Autism Training Center. louisville.edu/education/ky autism training. KY Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Kentucky. Special Parent Involvement Network is KY. kyspin.com. KY Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Kentucky. Family Resource Guide. kyspin.com/family_resource_guide.cfm. KY Military Education Resources. education.ky.gov/educational/pages/support-r-families-in-school-transitions.aspx. Louisiana Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. LA Special Education Code. doa.louisiana.gov/osr/lac/28v43/28v43.doc. Department of Education Students with Disabilities. louisianabelieves.com/academics/students-with-disabilities. Regional Service Centers. louisianaseahools.net/lde/uploads/1569.pdf. School Choice Pilot Program for certain students with. louisianabelieves.com/school/school-choice-for-students-with-disabilities. Exceptionalities. louisianabelieves.com/school/school-choice-for-students-with-disabilities. LA Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Louisiana. Louisiana Parent Training. laptic.org. Parent Information Center. laptic.org. Pyramid Community Parent. pyramidparentcenter.org. Resource Center Supports. pyramidparentcenter.org. LA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Louisiana. Office for Citizens with Developmental Disabilities Resources and new.dhh.louisiana.gov/index.cfm/page/136/n/138. Family Resources. louisianabelieves.com/resources/library. Maine Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. ME Eligibility Criteria, p.74. maine.gov/doe/specialed/laws/chapter 101.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Services. maine.gov/doe/specialed/index.html. ME Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Maine. Maine Parent Federation. mpf.org. Me Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Maine. Resources: maine.gov/DOE/specialed/programs/index.html. Maryland Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Disability definitions. dsd.state.mds/comer/getfile.aspx, file equals 13a.05.01.03.htm. Department of Education Division of Special Education/Early. marylandpublicsschools.org/msde/division/early/intov/?WBC mode $sign $252% $sign 25% $sign 3e% $sign 25% $sign 3e% $sign 25% $sign 25% $sign 3e% $sign 25% $sign 3e. Intervention Services. marylandpublicsschools.org/msde/division/early/intov/?WBC mode $sign $sign 252% $sign 25% $sign 3e% $sign 25% $sign 3e% $sign 25% $sign 25% $sign 3e% $sign 25% $sign 3e. Partners for Success Centers. marylandpublicsschools.org/msde/infant_toddlers/about/family_support_services.htm. 2004 Autism Task Force Report. autismconnctmd.org/files/autismta-skf-org-memo-and-report.pdf. Report, A Route for Every Learner. udlcenter.org/sites/udlcenter.org/files/root_for_every_% sign 20 learner_report_nsg_% sign 2032511.pdf. Autism Connect. autismconnctmd.org. Parents Place of Maryland is MD. ppmd.org. MD Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Maryland. MD Family Support Services. marylandpublicsschools.org/msde/division/early-intov/infant_toddlers/about/family_support_services.htm. MD Military Education Resources. marylandpublicsschools.org/msde/programs/brac/military. Massachusetts Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. MA eligibility definitions. doe.mass.edu/sped/definitions.html. Department of Elementary and Secondary Education Office of Special Education. doe.mass.edu/sped. mass.gov/anf/docs/mddc/autism-commission-report-full.pdf. MA Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Massachusetts. Federation for Children with Special Needs. fcsn.org. Urban Pride. urbanpride.org. MA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Massachusetts. Parent Information. doe.mass.edu/sped/parents.html. Michigan Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. MI eligibility categories. michigan.gov/documents/mde/mos_supplemented_with_idea_regs_3795998_7.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Education. michigan.gov/mde/0,160,7-6530_6598-00.html. MI Autism Spectrum Disorders State Plan, Findings and Recommendations. michigan.gov/documents/autism/ASD State Plan_2_19_13_final_414143_7.pdf. MI Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Michigan. Michigan Alliance for Families. Michigan Alliance for Families.org. MI Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Michigan. Resources. Michigan Alliance for Families.org/resources. MI Military Education Resources. Michigan.gov/mde/0,46150-540-236-25240-00.html. Minnesota Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. MN Eligibility Criteria. .revisor.mn.gov/rules/ID equals. Department of Education Office of Special Education. education.state.mn.us/mde/schsup/spec-decomp. Regional Special Education Cooperatives. w20.education.state.mn.us/mde.org/view/districts/sped-cooperatives. MN Autism Spectrum Disorder Task Force. lcc.leg.mn/asd. MN Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Minnesota. Pacer Center. pacer.org. Discapacitados Aprendos Caminos. dacfamilycenter.org. MN Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Minnesota. Resources. education.state.mn.us/mde/justparent/youth/index.html. MN Military Education Resources. education.state.mn.us/mde/stu-suc/milfam. Mississippi Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. MS Policies and Procedures. mde.k12.ms.us/policy_06-policy_06-policy_06-07-09.pdf?SFVRSN=2. Department of Education Office of Special Education Services. mde.k12.ms.us/special-education. Final Report. dmh.state.ms.us/pdf/autismreportinweb.pdf. ed. The Dyslexia Therapy Scholarship for Students with Dyslexia. mde.k12.ms.us/curriculum-and-instruction/dyslexia. Program. mde.k12.ms.us/curriculum-and-instruction/dyslexia. MS Department of Education. mde.k12.ms.us/mde-home. MS Parent Training and Information Center. msbti.org. MS Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Mississippi. Parent Information. mde.k12.ms.us/special-education/special-education-for-parents. Missouri Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Definitions. ksde.org/link-click.aspx?file ticket =zn9 mod f by g 0% sign 3d &tabit =2833 mid =9364. Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Office of Special Education. dis.mo.gov/se. Project Access. education.missouristate.edu/access. Project Access. education.missouristate.edu/access. Navigating Autism Services. dmh.mo.gov/docs/dd/navigation-guide.pdf. Autism Spectrum Disorders, Guide to Evidence-Based Interventions. Autism Guidelines.dmh.missouri.gov/documents/interventions.pdf. MO Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Missouri. Missouri Parents Act. ptimpact.org. MO Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Missouri. Parent Resources. dis.mo.gov/divspest/parentresources.html. Montana Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Checklist. opi.mt.gov/pdf/spesti/forms/criteria/chcklsd.pdf. Office of Public Instruction Division of Special Education. opi.mt.gov/programs/specialid. Autism Education Project. opi.mt.gov/users/dugdoti. MT Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Montana. Parents, let's unite for kids is MT. pluke.org. MT Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Montana. Nebraska Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Criteria. education.ne.gov/legal/webrules pdf/clean51_2010.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Education. education.ne.gov/sped/index.html. Nebraska Autism Spectrum Disorders Network. unl.edu/asdnetwork/about.shtml. PTI Nebraska. pti-nebraska.org. NE Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Nebraska. Resources. education.ne.gov/sped/resources.html. Nevada Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. NV Eligibility Criteria. leg.state.nv.us/nac/nac-388.html. Department of Education Office of Special Education Services. doe.nv.gov/special_education1. Report in 2008. dhhs.nv.gov/autism/2008/2008_autism_task_force_force_report.pdf. NV Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Nevada. Parents Encouraging Parents is NV. nvpep.org. NV Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Nevada. Resources. doe.nv.gov/specialeducation_resources.htm. New Hampshire Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. NH Eligibility Definitions. education.nh.gov/instructions/special_ed/documents/nh_rules_2012_web.pdf. Department of Education Special Education. education.nh.gov/instructions/special_ed/index.htm. Final report in 2008. iod.unh.edu/pdf/nhcommissiono_nasd_final report.pdf. NH Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/new %sign 20 Hampshire. Parent Information Center of NH. picnh.org. NH Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/new-Hampshire. Resources. education.nh.gov/instructions/special_ed/documents/resources_specialid-ucatayan.pdf. New Jersey Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Criteria. nj.gov/education/code/current/title 6/chap14.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Education. nj.gov/education/specialid. Final report. state.nj.us/human services/ddd/boards/aatfrpt.pdf. New Jersey Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/new%20 Jersey. Statewide Parent Advocacy Network. spanadvocacy.org/index.php. Association for Special Children and Families. ascfamily.org. New Jersey Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/new-Jersey. Resources: nj.gov/education/specialed/pants.html. New Mexico Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria: ped.state.nm.us/seb/law/dl12/ch4.doc. Public Education Department Special Education Bureau. ped.state.nm.us/seb. The Developing an Autism Service Plan for New Mexico. nmlegis.gov/lcs/handouts/bhs %signed 20081612 %signed 20sm20 %signed 20 autism %signed 20 service %signed 20 plan.pdf. NM Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/new %signed 20 Mexico. Parents Reaching Out. parentsreachingout.org. Education. epicsproject.org. Parents of Indian Children with Special Needs NM. epicsproject.org. NM Secondary Transition. transition-ta.org/transition-map/new-Mexico. Resources: ped.state.nm.us/seb/community/index.html. New York Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria: p12.nicd.gov/specialed/lawsregs/march 2011-complete.pdf. Department of Education Office for Special Education. p12.nicd.gov/specialed. Regional Quality Assurance Centers. p12.nicd.gov/specialed/quality/regissoc.hdm. Special Education Parent Centers. p12.nicd.gov/specialed/techassist/parentcenters.hdm. New York Interagency Task Force on Autism. opwdd_community_connections/autism_connection/autism_task_force_on_autism. Technical Assistance Centers. p12.nicd.gov/specialed/techassist. Center for Autism and Related Disabilities, CARD. albany.edu/autism. New York Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/new %signed 20 York. Advocates for Children of New York. advocatesforchildren.org. Resources: resourcesinc.org. Children with Special Needs Inc. resourcesinc.org. Synergia/Metropolitan Parent Center. synergiany.org. Parent Network of WNY. Parent Network AWNewYork.org. New York Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/new-York. Assistance for Parents. p12.nicd.gov/specialed/quality/parents.hdm. Parent and Student Resources. usny.nicd.gov/parents. North Carolina Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Policies governing services for children. ec.nc-policies/NC-policies-governing-services-with-disabilities/guiding-practices.pdf. Disabilities. ec.nc-policies/NC-policies-governing-services-with-disabilities/guiding-practices.pdf. Department of Public Instruction, Exceptional Children Division. dpi.state.nc.us/ec. Tax credit for children with disabilities. dor.state.nc.us/practitioner/individual/directive/pd-12-1.pdf. Exceptional Children's Assistance Center Inc. ECAC-PARENTCENTER.org. Hope Parent Resource Center. FSNHope.org. FirstWNC.org. NC Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/North-Carolina. Parent Resources. ec.ncpublicsschools.gov/parent-resources. Family Support Network. FSNNC.org. NC Military Education Resources. ncpublicschools.org/militaries Upport. North Dakota Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Parent Guide to Special Education, P6. dpi.state.nd.us/spest1/family/pguide07.pdf. Department of Public Instruction Office of Special Education. dpi.state.nd.us/spest1/index.shtm. State Plan Report in 2010. NorthDakota.areavoices.com/files/2010/autism-task-force-report1.pdf. Pathfinder Parent Center. pathfinder-nd.org. ND Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/North-Dakota. Resources. dpi.state.nd.us/spest1/family/family.shtm. Ohio Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Department of Education Office of Exceptional Children. education.ohio.gov/topics/special-education. State Support Teams. education.ohio.gov/topics/school-improvement/state-support-teams. Autism Recommendations. ocali.org/up_doc/ohio_autism_recommendations_2012.pdf. Ohio Center for Autism. ocali.org. Incidents. ocali.org. Autism Scholarship Program. education.ohio.gov/topics/other-resources/scholarships/autism-scholarship-program. education.ohio.gov/topics/other-resources/scholarships/special-needs-scholarship. EdChoice Scholarship Program. education.ohio.gov/topics/other-resources/scholarships/edchoice-scholarship-program. Scholarships. education.ohio.gov/topics/other-resources/scholarships. Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/ohio. Ohio Coalition Education of Children with Disabilities. ocd.org. Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Ohio. Disability Resources. education.ohio.gov/topics/special-education/students-with-disabilities. Military Education Resources. education.ohio.gov/topics/other-resources/school-safety/safe-of-and-supportive-learning/supporting-children-of-Ohio-families. Oklahoma Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. OK Disability Definitions. ok.gov/sde/sites/ok.government-sde/files/spest-policies-procedures.pdf. Department of Education Special Education. ok.gov/sde/special-education. OK Autism Network. ocotism.org/okplan/default.asp. Lindsay Nicole Henry Scholarship for Students. ok.gov/SDE/Lindsay-Nicole-Henry-LNH-Scholarship-Program-Children-Disabilities. Disabilities Program is a school choice. ok.gov/SDE/Lindsay-Nicole-Henry-LNH-Scholarship-Program-Children-Disabilities. Oklahoma Parents Center Inc. oklahomaparentscenter.org. OK Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Oklahoma. Community Resource Directory. join.ok.gov. Resources for parents. ok.gov/SDE/parent-and-family-resource-page. Oregon Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria. ode.state.or.us/offices/slp/sbedoors.pdf. Department of Education Office of Student Learning and Partnerships. ode.state.or.us/search/page/?ID=653. Oregon Commission on ASD. orcommissiononasd.org/index.php/documents. Family and Community Together. factoragon.org. OR First. orfirst.org. National Indian Parent Information Center. npc.org. Or Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Oregon. Resources. ode.state.or.us/search/page/?ID=35. Pennsylvania Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Department of Education Bureau of Special Education. portal.state.pa.us/portal/server.pt/community/special_education/7465. Autism Task Force. dpw.state.pa.us/ucmprd's/groups/public/documents/reports/s_001624.pdf. PA Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Pennsylvania. Parent Education Network. parentednet.org. Parent Education and Advocacy Leadership Center. peelcenter.org. Mission Empower. missionempower.org. Mentor Parent Program Inc. mentorparent.org. Hispanos Unidos para Niños Excepcionales. huneinc.org. PA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Pennsylvania. Resources. parentednet.org/parent-support-page. Rhode Island Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria. ride.ri.gov/portals/0/uploads/documents/students and families great schools/special education/RI-BOR-regs governing education of children with disabilities.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Education. ride.ri.gov/students-families/special-education.aspx. Paul V. Sherlock Center on Disabilities. ric.edu/sherlockcenter/online-publications.html. RI Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/road%20 Island. RI Parent Information Network. ripin.org. RI Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Rhode-Island. Resources. ric.edu/sherlockcenter/online-publications.html. South Carolina Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria. ed.sc.gov/agency/programs-services/173/documents/43-243_1 eligibility criteria.pdf. Department of Education Office of Exceptional Children. ed.sc.gov/agency/ac/exceptional-children. SC Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/South%20 Parents reaching out to parents. proparents.org. Family Resource Center for Disabilities and Special Needs, Inc. frcdsn.org. SC Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/South-Carolina. Resources. ed.sc.gov/agency/programs-services/173/Parent Resource Sun Special Education.cfm. South Dakota Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Guide. doe.sd.gov/oess/documents/eligibuild.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Education. doe.sd.gov/oess/sped.aspx. Regional Service Directory. doe.sd.gov/oess/documents/spedregionalreps.pdf. South Dakota Parent Connection is SD. sdparent.org/web/indexes/ublinks.php site ID =2825 SD Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/South-Dakota. Family Resource Guide. sdparent.org/web/indexes/ublinks.php site ID =2825 page ID =22677 Tennessee Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Criteria. tn.gov/education/spest/assessment.html. Department of Education Division of Special Education Services. tn.gov/education/spest/index.html. Tennessee Disability Pathfinder. kc.vanderbilt.edu/pathfinder/page.aspx?ID =. Support and training for exceptional parents. tnstep.org. TN Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Tennessee. Resources. tn.gov/education/spest/index.html. Texas Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. TX Eligibility Criteria. info.sos.state.tx.us/pls/pub/readtac $ext.tac page $SL $R&app $$p_dir=p_RLOC=1331338 $p_PG=1 $331338 TI =19 PT =2 CH =89 RL =1040 DT =Z_check =421367 Z contains Education Agency Special Education Section. tea.state.tx.us/index2.aspx?ID =21474913999. Regional Education Service Centers. tea.state.tx.us/regional_services/ESC. TXESC Special Education Leadership. systexas.org/special.ed/DSFUNC. Council on Autism and Pervasive Developmental Disorders. dads.state.tx.us/autism. Autism Research and Resource. dads.state.tx.us/TARC. Center. dads.state.tx.us/TARC. TX Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Texas. PATH. partnerstx.org/path. PEN. partnerstx.org/PEN. Team. partnerstx.org/team. Children's Disability Information. cdiclpaso.org. Coalition. cdiclpaso.org. TX Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Texas. Resources. TexasProjectFirst.org. TX Military Education Resources. tea.state.tx.us/index2.aspx?ID =7995. Utah Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Criteria. schools.utah.gov/sars/docs/law/final-rules-rev.aspx. State Office of Education Special Education Services. schools.utah.gov/sars/default.aspx. Carson Smith Special Needs Scholarship Program. schools.utah.gov/sars/quick-links/carson-smith-scholarship.aspx. Utah Parent Center. utahparentcenter.org. UT Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Utah. Resources. schools.utah.gov/sars/partnerships.aspx. Vermont Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Specific disabilities. education.vermont.gov/documents/educ_sped_guide.pdf. Agency of Education Special Education Section. education.vermont.gov/new/html/pgm_sped.html. VT Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Vermont. Vermont Family Network. vermontfamilynetwork.org. VT Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Vermont. Resources. education.vermont.gov/new/html/pgm_sped/parents.html. Virginia Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Specific disabilities. doe.virginia.gov/special_ed/disabilities/index.shtml. Department of Education Special Education Section. doe.virginia.gov/special_ed/index.shtml. Training and Technical Assistance Network. ttaconline.org. Assessment of Services for Virginians with Autism Spectrum Disorders in 2009. jlark.virginia.gov/meetings/June09/autism.pdf. VA Autism Council. autismtrainingva.org. VA Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Virginia. Parent Educational Advocacy Training Center. PTC.org. Formed Families Forward. formedfamiliesforward.org. VA Secondary Transition. transitionta.org/transition-map/Virginia. Resources. doe.virginia.gov/special_ed/parents/index.shtml. VA Military Education Resources. doe.virginia.gov/support/student_family/military. Washington Special Education, Parent, and Transition Websites. Eligibility Criteria. k12.wa.us/specialed/pubdocs/ots-5469.pdf. Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction Special. k12.wa.us/specialed/default.aspx. Education Services Monit. k12.wa.us/specialed/default.aspx. Education Service Districts. k12.wa.us/maps/esdmap.aspx. Autism Task Force Submit. doh.gov/you/and-your-family/illness-and-disease/autism/autism-taskforce.aspx. Developmental Disabilities Task Force. dshs.wa.gov/ddd/ddsdf.shtml. Autism Outreach Project. nwesd.org/autism. Partnerships for Action, Voices for Empowerment. wapave.org. Open Doors for Multicultural Families. multiculturalfamilies.org. WA Secondary Transition. transition.org/transition-map/Washington. Resources: k12.wa.us/specialty/families/default.aspx. WA Military Education Resources. k12.wa.us/militarykids/default.aspx. West Virginia Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria: wvita.state.wv.us/osp/policy 2419-effective-July 2012.pdf. Department of Education Office of Special Education. wvita.state.wv.us/osp. Parent Educator Resource Centers. wvita.state.wv.us/osp/perkbackground.html. Autism Training Center. marshall.edu/atc/content/about.php. WV Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/West% 20 West Virginia Parent Training and Information, Inc. is WV. wvpti.org. WV Secondary Transition. transition.org/transition-map/West-Virginia. Resources: wvita.state.wv.us/osp/important-links.html. WV Military Education Resources. wvita.state.wv.us/common-ground/military-families.html. Wisconsin Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria: sped.dpi.wi.gov/sped_eligibility. Department of Public Instruction Special Education Team. sped.dpi.wi.gov. Governor's Autism Council. autismcouncil.wisconsin.gov/meetings/index.htm. Parent Choice Programs. sms.dpi.wi.gov/sms_mpkpg. WI Insurance. autismspeaks.org/advocacy/state/Wisconsin. WI Family Assistance Center. For education, training, and support. wifacets.org. Alianza Latina Aplicando Soluciones. alianzalatinawi.org/alas.htm. WI Secondary Transition. transition.org/transition-map/Wisconsin. Resources: sped.dpi.wi.gov/sped_par_agency. WI Military Education Resources. ssbw.dpi.wi.gov/ssbw_MC Resources. Wyoming Special Education, Parent, and Transition websites. Eligibility criteria: soswy.state.wy.us/rules/7767.pdf. Department of Education Special Education Program. edu.wyoming.gov/programs/special_education.aspx. Parent Information Center. wpic.org. WY Secondary Transition. transition.org/transition-map/Wyoming. edu.wyoming.gov/students.aspx.